Being tall comes with its own set of challenges. Challenges that other people probably have never even thought of. I'm sort of even embarrassed to be out in public.
Since the earliest days of human history, stories of exceptionally tall and large individuals have fascinated us.
Can you believe that? Perhaps even, let's compare it to the size of my head.
These towering figures push the limits of what we believe is possible for the human body and spirit. Whether they are sumo wrestlers, trained from a young age, or extraordinarily tall giants who stand out in a crowd, their remarkable size is only the beginning of their story. What makes the lives of these giants so intriguing? And what can we learn from those who refuse to let their immense stature define them? Join us as we explore the lives of the 20 largest humans to ever live. Number 20. Elisane Silva. Elisane Silva is a Brazilian model whose 2.07-meter frame makes her one of the tallest women in her country. But Elisane's journey to the catwalk was paved with more than just high heels. Born in a small Brazilian town, Elisane's extraordinary growth began in her early teens. By 15, she had already surpassed 2 meters. This rapid growth was due to a tumor on her pituitary gland. This condition, while making her tall, also brought severe health challenges like joint pain, vision problems, and the constant discomfort of a body growing too fast. Yet in the face of these hurdles, Elisane refused to be defined by her condition. With her family's unwavering support and medical interventions, she began to manage her health. But it was her venture into modeling that truly transformed her life. Elisane's unique height caught the fashion world's attention. What once made her feel out of place now makes her stand out on the runway. Number 19. Macy Currin. Macy Currin is a Texas teenager with the world's longest legs. She's so tall that she can touch the ceiling without standing on tiptoes. But Macy's story isn't just about her height, it's about how she turned something that made her feel different into a source of strength and inspiration. Let's talk numbers first. Macy stands nearly 2 meters tall. That's about 6 feet 10 inches. But what's really amazing is her legs. They measure over 135 centimeters, or about 4 feet 5 inches. That's longer than many kids are tall. Her incredible height isn't because of any medical condition. It's just in her genes, like having blue eyes or curly hair. Growing up super tall was challenging for Macy. Kids can be mean sometimes, especially when someone looks different. At school, some kids teased her, calling her names or making fun of her height. This hurt Macy's feelings and made her feel like she didn't fit in. She started to feel self-conscious, wishing she could shrink down and blend in with everyone else. Macy's family and friends didn't see her height as weird or bad. Instead, they told her it was special. They helped her understand that being different isn't a flaw, it's what makes each person unique. With their support, Macy started to see her long legs in a new light. Number 18. Sultan Kosen. Imagine being so tall that you can't find clothes that fit or shoes that are comfortable. This is the daily life of Sultan Kosen, a man from Turkey who holds the Guinness World Record for being the tallest person alive. Born in 1982, Sultan stands at an incredible height of 2.51 meters, which is over 8 feet tall. But how did Sultan grow so tall? It's because of a condition called pituitary gigantism. This means that when he was young, his body made too much growth hormone. Usually this hormone helps kids grow, but in Sultan's case, it didn't stop. So he kept growing taller and taller. Being the tallest person in the world isn't always easy. Sultan faces challenges that most of us don't even think about. For example, finding clothes that fit him is a big problem. He often needs to have his clothes made specially for him. This takes a lot of time and can be expensive. Shoes are another issue. It's hard to find shoes big enough for his feet, so he also needs these custom-made. Going to school was also tough for Sultan. His height made it difficult for him to fit in a regular classroom. This meant he couldn't always go to school like other kids. Missing school was sad for him because he wanted to learn and make friends like everyone else. Despite these challenges, Sultan has a positive outlook on life. He doesn't let his height get him down. Instead, he uses it to help others. He travels around the world to share his story and raise awareness about gigantism. Number 17. Dabe. Have you ever seen hands so big that they look like they belong to a cartoon character? Well, meet Jeff Dabe, a man whose hands and arms are so massive that they've made him a superstar in the world of arm wrestling. Jeff's forearms are something to behold. They're nearly half a meter around. That's like having a small watermelon for an arm. But what's really amazing is that no one knows why his hands and arms are so big. Doctors have studied him and found no medical reason. It's like Jeff's body decided, hey, let's make these arms supersized. As a young guy, Jeff realized he was stronger than most people. He could easily win against anyone in arm wrestling. So he started competing in local and regional contests. Word spread fast. Have you heard about the guy with the giant hands? He's unbeatable. Soon, everyone wanted to challenge Jeff. Now you might think having such big hands would make Jeff feel weird or that people would tease him. But that's not Jeff's style. He loves his unique hands. Instead of hiding them, he shows them off. In arm wrestling matches, his positive attitude and good sportsmanship make everyone like him. Even when people are amazed or curious about his size, Jeff just smiles and focuses on the game. Number 16. Ulambayar Nyamjav. Standing nearly 2 meters tall, that's about 6 feet 6 inches, and weighing 158 kilograms, about 350 pounds, Ulai is hard to miss. But it's not just his size that makes him special. It's what he's done with it that truly sets him apart. Ulai's journey began in Mongolia, a country with a rich wrestling tradition. As a young boy, he was drawn to sumo, a Japanese style of wrestling where size and strength are key. He worked hard, training every day to become the best. His dedication eventually paid off big time. In 2006 and 2007, Ulai won the Sumo World Championship titles. That's like winning the Super Bowl twice in a row. These wins didn't just make him famous in Mongolia, they made him a star all over the world. But Ulai's story doesn't end in the sumo ring. His massive size and friendly personality caught the eye of Hollywood. Ulai got a part in the movie Ocean's 13, and TV shows also wanted a piece of Ulai's charm. He appeared on reality shows like King of the Nerds, Big Brother, and even The Bachelorette. Number 15. Rumeysa Gelgi. Rumeysa Gelgi stands out, quite literally. This remarkable woman from Turkey holds the title of the world's tallest living woman. Putting Rumeysa's height into perspective so you understand how tall she is. She stands over 215 centimeters tall, which is more than 7 feet. That's taller than most basketball players. Her towering stature is due to a rare condition called Weaver syndrome. This syndrome is like a growth booster that doesn't know when to stop. It made Rumeysa grow much faster and taller than other kids. But being super tall isn't all fun and games. Weaver syndrome doesn't just affect height. It can cause all sorts of health issues. For Rumeysa, this meant dealing with pain, difficulty moving around, and other challenges that most of us don't face. Growing up, she spent a lot of time in hospitals. Doctors worked hard to help her, but there were many tough days. Despite these hurdles, Rumeysa didn't let her condition define her. She became a voice for people with rare diseases like hers. She thought, if people are going to stare at me anyway, I might as well teach them something. Rumeysa's determination has earned her not just 1, but 5 Guinness World Records. Along with being the tallest woman, she also has the longest fingers and largest hands for a living woman. These records have made her famous worldwide. Number 14. Nikolai Valuev. Picture this. A man so tall he has to duck through doorways, with fists the size of small hams. That's Nikolai Valuev, standing at a whopping 2.13 meters and weighing in at 148 kilograms. His sheer size earned him the nickname the Russian Giant, and it's easy to see why. But Valuev wasn't just big, he was a force to be reckoned with in the ring. His journey began in 1993 when he threw his first professional punch. Critics doubted him, thinking his size would slow him down. They couldn't have been more wrong. With each fight, Valuev proved that size and skill could go hand in hand. His crowning glory came in 2005. In a historic bout, he clinched the WBA heavyweight title, becoming the first Russian ever to do so. The boxing world was stunned. This giant from St. Petersburg had just rewritten the rulebook. And he wasn't done yet. Valuev defended his title multiple times, his powerful punches and remarkable endurance keeping opponents at bay. Yet, for all his success, Valuev's size was a double-edged sword. Those same massive limbs that delivered knockout blows also caused him pain. Joint problems plagued him, and the strain on his body was immense. It was a stark reminder that even giants have their vulnerabilities. In 2009, after a tough loss to David Haye, Valuev faced a difficult decision. His body was sending clear signals. The wear and tear of the sport was taking its toll. With a heavy heart, he hung up his gloves. He chose long-term health over the allure of more titles, a decision that showed wisdom beyond the boxing ring. Number 13. Sajad Gharibi. Better known as the Iranian Hulk, Sajad Gharibi is one man who has captured global attention with his jaw-dropping physique. In this age of social media, with arms thicker than most people's thighs and a chest that seemed carved from stone, Gharibi's Instagram posts have made him an internet sensation. Standing just under 2 meters and tipping the scales at a muscular 174 kilograms, Gharibi's build is a testament to his relentless dedication to weightlifting. His workout videos, showcasing him hoisting weights that would challenge most, have earned him millions of followers. These fans, in awe of his superhuman strength, have dubbed him a real-life Hulk. But Gharibi isn't content to be just a social media star. He's ventured into the gritty world of mixed martial arts. It's a bold move for someone more accustomed to lifting weights than trading blows. His foray into MMA hasn't been a smooth ride. The transition from weightlifting to combat sports has proven challenging, with his performances not quite matching his imposing stature. Number 12. Morteza Mehrzad. Morteza Mehrzad is over 8 feet tall because he had a medical condition that made him grow too much. When Morteza was 15 years old, he had a bad bicycle accident that broke his pelvis bone. This accident stopped one of his legs from growing as long as the other leg. After the accident, Morteza felt sad and started using a wheelchair and crutches to get around. But then something amazing happened. A volleyball coach named Hadi saw Morteza on a TV show about talented people with disabilities. Hadi got Morteza's contact information and convinced him to try playing sitting volleyball. Morteza started training hard and made Iran's national sitting volleyball team in 2016. That same year, he competed in his first Paralympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Morteza played incredibly well, scoring 28 points in the gold medal final against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Iran won, and Morteza had his first Paralympic gold. Morteza's success continued over the next few years. In 2018, he helped Iran win the World Championships. In 2019, 2021, and 2022, he was named the best sitting volleyball player in the world. Morteza won another Paralympic gold in Tokyo 2020 and his second World Championship in 2022, both times defeating Bosnia and Herzegovina in the finals. Number 11. Olivier Richters. Olivier Richters, aptly nicknamed the Dutch Giant, at a staggering 2.18 meters tall and weighing 153 kilograms of chiseled muscle, Richters is a testament to the power of discipline and the ability to conquer not just one field, but two. Richters' journey began in the ironclad world of bodybuilding. His workout regimen is the stuff of legends, grueling sessions that push the boundaries of human endurance. The results? A physique that seems more suited to a superhero comic than real life. His massive frame, coupled with a dedication that matches his size, quickly made him a standout in bodybuilding circles. But for Richters, conquering the gym wasn't enough. He set his sights on an entirely different challenge: Hollywood. In an industry where looks matter, his extraordinary size could have been a limitation. Instead, it became his ticket to stardom. Directors, always on the lookout for unique physiques, couldn't ignore the Dutch Giant. His breakthrough came with a role in the Marvel blockbuster Black Widow. Sharing the screen with A-list stars, Richters proved he was more than just muscle. His presence added a distinct flavor to the film, opening doors to more high-profile projects. From bodybuilding stages to movie sets, Richters has shown that with unwavering determination, one can excel in seemingly disparate fields. Number 9. Yao Defen. In the quiet villages of China, a woman named Yao Defen once walked the streets, her head nearly touching the clouds. Born in 1972, Yao held the title of the tallest woman ever recorded, standing at a staggering 259 centimeters. You see, Yao's incredible height wasn't a choice. It was the result of a tiny tumor on her pituitary gland, a condition called gigantism. This tiny troublemaker made her body produce way too much growth hormone, causing her to shoot up like a bamboo stalk. Growing up, Yao's life was a mix of wonder and worry. People marveled at her height, but she faced a world not built for someone her size. Simple things like finding clothes or squeezing through doorways became daily challenges. Worse, her rapid growth brought health problems. Her heart worked overtime, her joints ached, and moving became difficult. Yao's family and doctors tried everything to help. But in rural China, advanced medical care was hard to come by. By the time she had surgery to remove the tumor, years of unchecked growth had already taken a toll. Yet through it all, Yao's spirit remained unbroken. She became a symbol of resilience, using her unique situation to raise awareness about rare medical conditions. Sadly, Yao's story ended too soon. She passed away in 2012 at just 40 years old. Number 8. Sun Ming Ming. In the bustling cities of China, a young boy named Sun Ming Ming grew taller and taller, like a sunflower stretching toward the sky. By the time he stepped onto a basketball court, he towered over everyone at an astonishing 236 centimeter. Sun's incredible height wasn't just luck of the draw, it was due to a small tumor on his pituitary gland, causing a condition called gigantism. But instead of letting this challenge define him, Sun used his extraordinary size to pursue his passion: basketball. His journey began in China's local leagues, where his ability to dunk without jumping and block shots with ease made him a local legend. Word of the giant from China spread fast, catching the attention of scouts from around the world. Soon Sun was packing his bags for the United States, the land of basketball dreams. In America, Sun faced new challenges. The game was faster, the players more skilled. And while his height was an advantage, he needed more than that to succeed. So he trained harder, improving his footwork, stamina, and basketball IQ. His determination paid off when he joined the NBA's Development League, a stepping stone for many great players. Though Sun never made it to the NBA's main stage, his journey in basketball left a lasting impression. Number 7. Brahim Takioullah. Brahim Takioullah turns heads wherever he goes in the vibrant streets of Paris. At 246 centimeters tall, over 8 feet, he's the second tallest man alive. But what makes Brahim truly stand out isn't just his height, it's his heart. Born in Morocco, Brahim's extraordinary growth started in his teens due to a condition called acromegaly. It's like his body got a growth message and just kept going. By the time doctors figured out it was a tumor on his pituitary gland causing the issue, Brahim was already towering over everyone. Life as a giant isn't all high fives and great views. Simple things we take for granted, like finding clothes that fit or squeezing into a car, are daily hurdles for Brahim. Even walking can be tough because his joints have to carry so much weight. But here's the amazing part: instead of letting these challenges get him down, Brahim decided to use his uniqueness to bring joy to others. He found a job at a theme park in Paris. Not just any job, mind you. Brahim is the star attraction. Visitors from all over the world come to meet him, snap photos, and hear his story. In a world where differences often divide us, Brahim's gentle demeanor and willingness to share his experiences bring people together. Number 6. John Rogan. Back in the late 1800s, in the rolling hills of Tennessee, a remarkable young man named John Rogan grew to become a local legend. But let's start with the numbers. John Rogan stood at an astonishing 266 centimeters tall, that's over 8 feet 8 inches. Can you imagine being that tall? You'd have to duck just to avoid hitting your head on ceiling fans. But Rogan's height wasn't just a fun fact, it came with real challenges. For one, everyday tasks were a struggle. Finding clothes and shoes that fit was nearly impossible. And forget about squeezing into a normal bed or chair. Rogan had to have everything custom-made, but despite the hurdles, Rogan made the most of his extraordinary size. He became a celebrity in his own right, with people coming from far and wide just to catch a glimpse of the giant of Tennessee. He even landed a job with the circus, where his height was a major draw. And Rogan didn't let his fame go to his head. By all accounts, he remained humble and kind, always willing to pose for photos or shake hands with fans. His story is a powerful reminder that with great size comes great responsibility, and John Rogan carried that responsibility with grace. Number 5. Hov Van Trung. Nguyen Van Trung Hung was born in 1983 and stood at an astonishing 272 centimeter, nearly 9 feet tall. He was Vietnam's tallest man and the 6th tallest in history. But Hung's story isn't just about reaching great heights, it's a poignant tale of a life cut tragically short. Hung's extraordinary growth began in his teens. At first, his family thought he was just having a growth spurt. But as he kept growing taller and taller, they realized something wasn't right. Doctors discovered the cause, a tumor on his pituitary gland, a condition called gigantism. This tiny troublemaker flooded Hung's body with growth hormone, making him shoot up like a bamboo stalk. Living as a giant wasn't easy. Hung had to duck through doorways, and finding clothes was a nightmare. His joints ached from carrying his towering frame. Simple things we take for granted, like riding a bus or sitting in a classroom, were impossible for him. Yet, despite these hardships, Hung was known for his kind heart and gentle demeanor. Doctors tried to help. They operated to remove the tumor, hoping to stop his uncontrolled growth. But by then, the damage was done. Years of rapid growth had taken a toll on Hung's body. His heart struggled to pump blood through his massive frame, and his joints couldn't bear his weight. Tragically, Hung's story ended too soon. In 2014, at just 31 years old, his body gave in to the strain. Vietnam and the world lost a gentle soul. Number 4. Bao Xishun. Bao Xishun was a very tall man from Inner Mongolia, China. He was over 7.5 feet tall. Guinness World Records said he was the tallest living man in the world for a few years. Bao didn't start out being so tall, though. He said he was of normal height until he was 16 years old. Then he just kept growing and growing. After finishing school, Bao joined the Chinese army for 3 years. When he left the army, he went back home to live with his mother and work at a local hospital. In 2005, Guinness recognized Bao as the new tallest man in the world, at almost 8 feet tall. Being that tall caused Bao some health issues, though. He suffered from rheumatism, which made his joints sore and stiff. Despite his large size, Bao used his long 3.5-foot arms to help in a special way. In 2006, some dolphins at a zoo had accidentally swallowed plastic pieces. The plastic was stuck in their stomachs, making the dolphins sick. The zoo doctors couldn't reach the plastic to remove it, but Bao could. He stretched his long arms into the dolphins' mouths and pulled the plastic right out of their stomachs. The dolphins felt much better after that. A couple years later, in 2007, Bao got married to a woman named Xia Shujuan. They had a traditional Mongolian wedding ceremony. Then in 2008, they welcomed a son into their family. Bao became a minor celebrity too, appearing on the TV show The Amazing Race in 2010 as a guest greeter. Though he is no longer the world's tallest man, Bao will always be remembered for his incredible height and kind heart. Number 3. Ronnie Coleman. Every bodybuilder knows Ronnie Coleman. Born in 1964 in Bastrop, Louisiana, Ronnie didn't just lift weights, he redefined human potential, sculpting a physique that looks more like a Marvel superhero than a real person. Picture this, a man standing 180 centimeters tall, weighing a rock-solid 136 kilograms, with muscles so defined you could study anatomy from his photos. That's Ronnie in his prime. But here's the kicker, he wasn't born this way. He built this body, rep by grueling rep. Ronnie's story starts with football and a police badge. He lifted weights to stay fit for his job as a cop. Then a gym owner noticed something special. "Compete for me," he said, "and the membership's free." Ronnie thought, free gym? Sure. Little did he know this was his ticket to greatness. From 1998 to 2005, Ronnie did the unthinkable. He won Mr. Olympia, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, 8 times in a row. That's like winning the World Cup every 4 years for 3 decades. His battle cries, "Yeah, buddy," and "Lightweight, baby," echoed in gyms worldwide, pushing millions to lift heavier and work harder. But it wasn't just his wins that made Ronnie a legend. It was his work ethic. While others maxed out, he'd grin and say, "Ain't nothing but a peanut," and lift even more. His training videos are like action movies, with weights that make other pros look like they're lifting feathers. Number 2. Yao Ming. In 1980, a baby was born in Shanghai who would grow up to change the face of basketball and bridge the gap between two giant nations. That baby was Yao Ming, and he would stand an incredible 229 centimeter tall. But Yao's story isn't just about his towering height. It's about how he used that height to dunk basketballs and cultural barriers. As a kid in China, Yao was already a head taller than his peers. By 13, he was playing pro basketball in China. In 2002, the Houston Rockets picked Yao first in the NBA draft. It was a big deal. Not just for Yao, but for China and the NBA. Suddenly, millions of Chinese fans were tuning in to watch this gentle giant play. Yao didn't disappoint. He became an 8-time All-Star, proving he was more than just tall, he was talented. When injuries forced Yao to retire in 2011, he didn't fade away. He bought his old team in China, became a global ambassador for the NBA, and worked tirelessly to promote basketball worldwide. Yao Ming didn't just reach for the stars, he dunked over them, showing that sports can bring people together no matter how tall the cultural walls. Number 1. Denis Cyplenkov. Denis Cyplenkov was born in 1982 in Ukraine. Cyplenkov is less a man and more a force of nature, with forearms thicker than most people's thighs. Standing 186 centimeter tall and weighing a solid 140 kilogram, Cyplenkov is big all over. But it's his arms that make people's jaws drop. His forearms measure over 50 centimeter around. That's like having a small watermelon for a forearm. And those massive mitts, they can crush apples with a squeeze. Cyplenkov's journey into arm wrestling began in his early 20s. He was already a powerlifter, but when he tried arm wrestling, he found his true calling. His first matches, he won them so fast, opponents thought it was a joke. Soon the whispers began, "Have you heard about the guy with the monster forearms?" Cyplenkov's career is a string of victories, national titles, European championships, world titles. He's won them all. And he's done it in both left and right-hand competitions. That's like a boxer being world champ in 2 weight classes at once. Even after years of dominance, he still trains like a maniac, because for him, it's not just about winning. It's about pushing the limits of what the human body can do. Thank you all for watching. Come back again and be sure to subscribe.